It's been a while since I've made a video. I'm going through so much right now. But I wanted to share a little word of encouragement for anyone who is in a transition or a liminal space or is in a situation where you feel lost and you feel like giving up and you feel like maybe a little hopeless or like you just can't see the way through the situation. I am going through that. So first of all, you're not alone. And second of all, there are just some things that I want to share that help carry me through this type of situation. And one of those things is that you might be, like, even if you're in a situation that is not clear, you don't know why you're going through this, you don't know why you are where you are, you don't know why you're in your situation or environment or whatever it is, and you're on a mission and you're following your dreams, you're following your calling, you're doing what you feel led on a soul level to do, and yet you're in this period of life, in this moment that feels like it's drawn out forever, and you're not receiving that same clarity or same guidance or same instruction or anything that you were receiving up until this point. And maybe you've experienced this in the recent past, but I feel like one possible answer or explanation for why things are so muddy right now will be that you're gonna find out why you are where you are now in the future. And that alone, when you trust that and know that, that alone should allow you to release some weight. This is super generic, so I want to try to be specific. So I'll just share a little bit about what I'm going through right now. I have been on a road trip since the end of May, and today it is September 9th. And on this road trip, I have been following my literal dreams towards home. I'm looking for where home is. I don't know where it is. This is a type of pilgrimage / journey that I have done before. And whether or not you understand this, I'm just going to pray for protection over this video, that it's only going to find the people who it's meant for, and that anyone who speaks against it or judges it or whatever, just let them not find this, let them not judge it, let them not have anything to say, let that bad energy be condemned. The internet can be a wild, unwelcoming place sometimes, but I want this to be a curated, protected situation, a protected space. So anyway, I follow my intuition, and in this past year or so, I have come to a conclusion that my intuition is a vehicle that God speaks through. I really have found, just the more that I live, the more that I go through what I go through, I've just found that God is in control of everything. God is the source of everything. God is the beginning and the end, and everything in between, and even more beyond that. And God is what is directing my movement and protecting me and hiding things from me and revealing things to me. I might think that it is my intuition, but ultimately it's God that speaks through my intuition. My intuition is just a means of communication between myself and God. And so I'm not putting all the emphasis on my intuition or my dreams. It's God using those things, using my intuition, using my dreams to guide me forward. That's just what has made sense to me, because I can't even explain it right now, but it just makes sense. And so I follow God. I've been saying recently that I'm following God, I'm listening to God, I'm I'm doing what God tells me to do, and there are moments in this journey where I don't feel like I hear God as clearly as I did when he literally spoke to me through giving me dreams and visions that came true later. I mean, that has happened to me countless times in my life. And the last place that I was living, that was my home, in New York State, I followed the same kind of intuitive guidance up there, and I was pulled to a specific area for a few years. And when it was finally time to go follow it, a series of synchronicities and just uncanny unfoldings just kind of happened. And I found my place, and it was easy and clear and kind of straightforward. But there were periods where I wanted to give up, and I had no idea where I was going or what I was doing or what the point of any of this was. And there were moments where I was so blind to what God was actually doing and where God was taking me. And now I feel like I'm in that same situation, but it just feels 100 times more uncomfortable and painful, and I'm dealing with life circumstances that are the most insane, stressful things that I've ever gone through, but they're also life-changing in a way that I can't explain right now. I'll explain it maybe more at another time. It's a story for another time, but the loose ends that I'm tying up, the things that I'm handling in my life right now I'm still in shock and in disbelief how I, a single person, was able to pull off what I pulled off in the past week, all while in the middle of this transition and still taking care of myself and taking care of a cat and all these things. So, it's been wild. And so, I'm here like in the unknown, and my instructions right now and my clarity on where to go next it feels so few and far between. It feels sparse. I don't feel the same magical, excited kind of clarity or buzzing or like spiritual kind of soul tingling that I felt last time I was on a journey to find home through my intuition. And so, and I've already done everything that I was instructed intuitively to do, and in an obvious way. I've literally gone to the landmarks and the places that I've seen in my dreams that were calling me for years, literally like five years at least. And I saw landmarks, I saw geographical landmarks that are so unique, and landscape motifs that I would encounter randomly while traveling, and I followed all of these signs. I followed all the things like I've been listening intently, and I've been doing everything that I am supposed to be doing. And I've kind of just, all of the obvious guidance, all of the obvious answers, everything to me that was direct and clear and obvious in the past is now already done, and I already accomplished those things, and I already listened to those instructions and did what I felt like I was called to do, or what I was shown to move towards, to move into. And now the instructions are, I feel like they're expired, like I don't know what's next. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know where I'm gonna live. I don't know when I'm gonna find a place to call home, to settle into. I don't know when these promises and these prayers and blessings will be fulfilled in the physical. And I know for a fact that they're coming. But I'm in this place where it's like I just can't see. And so again, I wanted to just share this to let anyone who needs to know that they're not alone in this. And there's always clarity, there's always a reason in hindsight. I think that part of this walk for me, because I've been in this state on and off for weeks, and it's not comfortable, you know what I mean? Like, I I get bursts of clarity. I get moments of clarity. I have dreams that give me clarity. I wake up some mornings and I feel rejuvenated with what I received in my dreams that night. You know, I have interactions, encounters, tiny, tiny, tiny moments that just keep me present and feed my, I don't know, my faith from moment to moment. And I find a lot of that through YouTube videos, for example, of encouragement, you know, similar to the things that I'm sharing. And then, you know, I was exploring different towns and basically just driving around until I find a place that feels like home. And because that's what I feel right to do. That's what I feel instructed and guided to do. It's like there's no other way for me that I know of. That's just what I'm doing because that's what I know to do. That's what I feel guided to do. That's what I've done before, and that's what worked for me. And that's kind of how I've navigated life and how I've found, you know, blessings and success and answers and things like this. I'm following the threads, like decision by decision, move by move, day by day, and I'm looking for what, you know, what feels right, what resonates, and I'm just following the thread. And so I was driving through a town earlier today as I'm on my way to another one, just to cross it off my list so I can move on to the next region or whatever. But I was driving to a town, and so I stopped. Like, one of the ways that I like to feel a town is to drive to a park with nice trails, and, you know, I drive through the main street, and sometimes I drive through some of the neighborhoods, and I just get a sense of the energy of the place, and I always know immediately whether I like it or not, or whether there's something there for me or not. And it's just a sense, you know, I follow the what feels contracting versus expanding, and yeah, it's super, that's a significant kind of guidepost thing for me. So anyway, I pulled up at this park at this town, and when I walked out of my car, I was walking towards this trailhead, and I said, like, God, please show me where my home is. And then a dandelion seed, like, perfectly intact, like, if you've ever seen the movie A Bug's Life, and you see the ants, how they ride on these dandelion tufts, and they have the perfect little seeds at the bottom, and then the stalk, and then like the umbrella, like starburst shaped seed. This tiny, perfect little dandelion seed just collided right into my heart and then got stuck in my braid. And I don't know if this is significant right now, but there's just like two helicopters passing overhead. I don't know if they're like firefighting helicopters, but they're there. And they look a little bit menacing, if you know what I mean. You know, when you see like an army of copters in the sky and they just kind of look a little, they've got some intense, heavy energy going on. So yeah, they're scouting. I mean, helicopters sometimes go up on missions to scout the land, and I feel like maybe it's a similar, I don't know, metaphor, analogy. There's this energy of scouting, following your intuition, following God's instructions, looking, finding, searching. And just because you can't see or hear, you know, clarity on the next step, or, you know, what's going to happen, or you can't see beyond a certain point, doesn't mean that you're stagnant or you're not moving closer to where you're supposed to be. So that's another thing. But anyway, so the seed collided with my braid, and seeds have always been a special symbol for me, historically. I mean, last time when I went on my journey to find my home in New York, that was back 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would pray, and then these seeds would just appear in the air out of nowhere, like right on time, these dandelion seeds and these like fibrous plant matter seed tufts. And it was always always a symbol for me, always like felt like an answer, you know. So it's like tiny, tiny, tiny moments like that just come at the right time, and they feed my, you know, my faith going forward. And I've kind of been hanging and riding on those tiny, tiny, tiny little pieces of faith. And so I don't know if this story is helpful or inspiring to you. I really hope that if you're in a similar situation, my words and this chunk of my story could help to support you and comfort you or whatever. But, you know, you gotta hold on in the moments of just not knowing, not being able to see past a certain threshold or past a certain amount of steps, you have to remember that that's not the end. And it's not a sign that you should give up. And it's not a sign that things are not working. It just means that you're living in the moment, you're following your instructions from God, from your intuition, whatever, and you haven't received the next guidance yet. You need to just walk the walk. You need to walk out what you are guided to do right now. You know, you were guided so far. You've experienced success and discovery and connection and good things in the past, and nothing about not seeing the way forward at any given moment means that you're not going to get or receive what was promised to you, or what you long for most, or what you prayed for. You know, so the tricky thing, I think, is when you run out of clarity, or you feel like you run out of options or directions, and so you expected that, it's like you expected that, you know, oh, once I get past a certain point, then it's all going to click and fall into place. But then when you cross that threshold of everything you've ever known, and you're literally living in the unknown and taking things day by day, step by step, you know, it kind of crushes your expectations a little bit, and in a way frees you of them, because you knew that doing everything that you did in the past were in fact steps to get you closer to your dreams, to what you want, to what you pray for. But then when you get past all of those instructions or all of those actions, and those things still aren't in front of you, it can feel really devastating, and it can convince your mind and trick your mind into wanting to give up, into believing that, oh, you know, my life partner must not exist. My dream home must not exist. My dream job must not exist. My dream community, my dream life, my dream situation, it must not exist, just because I did everything that I was told to do and I still don't see the results. But you know what? I'm in that situation right now, and I know that that's not true. I know it's not true because I know God. I know my intuition. I know the way it works, and I know that, you know, as we are not designed to long for things that we're not meant to have. If you feel called in your soul towards something, then it's yours. It is already yours. And that's like what the Word of God says. It is literally already yours. If you long for something so achingly, fully in your soul, in your heart, with all of you, it exists. It's yours, and it wants you just as much as you want it. And just because you do everything that you are aware that is in your power to do to get to that thing, and it's still not in front of you, it doesn't mean anything. It just means be here right now, and be patient, and continue trusting God, and just walk in faith, and keep doing what you did. You know, you were taken as far as you were taken, and that's good, and you're closer than ever before, and you're just going to keep getting closer, and you're not going to miss what's for you just because you don't know where to go or what to do. You know, you follow the thread, you keep your faith, and you continue, you know, being obedient. Yes, obedient to your divine instructions, to what your soul is telling you to do. You listen to your intuition, you listen to the voice of God, you pray about it, you have faith about it, and you lean on your faith when you can't see clearly, and you just hang out. You know, it's like sometimes in life, like, there's actually nothing to do, you know, and it can be an excuse to relax, or to just hang around and rest, and, you know, not do as much as maybe the person next to you. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna leave this here. So I really hope that this helps you, and I'm sending you lots of love, and I'll see you next time.